Greetings, families. I hope you are doing well. Congratulations. We have finished week number 2. The purpose of these videos that will be coming your way are sort of putting a face with the name. Mr. Winfield here, your child's language arts teacher for 6th grade. Very excited to have all of them. We've had a good couple of weeks so far getting to know each other and starting to dive into academics a little bit. And we started to scratch that surface this week with a couple of days off over the last 2 weeks. So this is going to be showing you what are some of the patterns that take place within the classroom, what the kids will be working on, so you can kind of get an idea of what's taking place in this little fictional, fun world of ours, or nonfiction for that point of view. But we do have a lot of fun. So let me get right into this by looking at what happened last week and what's happening next week. I'm going to switch on over to the slideshow. Additionally, into looking at what happened over the weeks, I'm going to show you how to go about having um, how the kids manage what's going on inside of my classroom. If they are absent, things that they'll be working on with iExcel and working on the dashboard Schoology, which is very similar to Google Classrooms, but a little bit different. So let me move this guy over here. And what we did over in week 2 is we started taking our iExcel diagnostic. So the important thing about taking the iExcel diagnostic is it allows me as a teacher to really hone in on the skills that need to be learned for each one of the children. And I can put them in small groups. And that got almost completed with all the students. Some of them are still wrapping up, but we'll get that taken care of so I can go and work on iExcel skills and putting them in small groups. And they can also work on the recommendations, which you will see in a few moments. Additionally, we started to study for our hatchet through vocabulary development. Students were looking up vocabulary words, putting them in sentences, learning how to go back and forth on a computer to find and do the research, and also then creating the worksheets and completing them and turning them into me through Schoology. Then I showed the kids what to do if they were absent with Schoology on Wednesday, and I'm going to go over that with you in 1 minute. And then we started our novel for this month, Reading Hatchet, and there should be a space there, so no worries. And then we did chapters 1 through 3. And then we started to practice for the quizzes that would take place on Friday. Every Friday they will have a quiz. I'll discuss that too. Thursday, we did a little bit more practicing with for the quizzes that they had on Friday. And if you take a look right over here, we have vocab and comp quizzes on this day, and then independent reading, and we catch up on our iExcel diagnostics. As we go into week 3, you're going to see a little bit more of this, and then week 4, we really start to ramp up into our patterns and what happens with our routines in school. So on Thursday, we explored those, did a little bit more of a response to literature, diving deeper into what was our novel. We learned about exposition. We went into detail with setting and making simple sentences and making them a little bit stronger and more complex, and clauses and independent clauses. And then we studied how authors changed their pace to keep you on your toes and keep you engaged as a reader. Then we took the quizzes on Friday, independent reading, and catching up on iExcel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back out right now, and I'm going to go to Schoology to show what happens you should do if your child is absent, or better yet, what they should be doing, which is what I've been teaching them. So if your child is absent, you'll have them go to Grand Ledge Public School, log into Clever. It will look like this, and then they'll go right over here to Schoology, and then this is what will pop up. They will go to their courses, and I label my classes English 1, English 2, English 3, English 4 out of ease, and also to get them ready for what will happen when they go to the bigger shows like middle school as well as high school, and they get into English classes. So they move and step away from language arts classes. So we're going to take a look at English 1. And you can see right here, I'm going to put on my glasses for a second so I can see a little bit more clearly. This is week 3. And when I click on this on the side over here, right there, you're going to see week 3 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, they will see these will pop up every day that they are. So on Monday, this will pop up. Tuesday, this will pop up. They cannot see this right now because it's unpublished. So you are just peeking into the future of what will take place. And actually, this is just me setting it up for what will also happen on week 4. So, But this will give you a snapshot. So let's say your child was absent on Monday, they can go right to Schoology and that they will see these things that we worked on. We did a Hatchet read aloud, which would be chapters 4, 5, and 6. And I already loaded the chapters right there. So they could listen to them. It takes about 40 minutes. That way that they are staying right on top of the audiobook that we are listening to and having a discussion and doing a response to literature on. Now I'm going to go back one step. And so what would happen is they would also see that they did that. They do the vocabulary. Right here is going to be them working on it. And they're usually 12 to 15 words for vocabulary. This week is pretty simple vocabulary. And then they would turn that into me. And they're learning this, and they've done it once, and they'll learn it again this week. And then we're going to go back one more so you guys can see how they will click on these different things to stay on top of what's happening. Now, this is going to be them practicing spelling, and it's in the form of a game. And so they can practice that. Spelling is not required in terms of like a grading as part of sixth grade, but I push this agenda. I give it to them as extra credit because I want to have them continue to work on their spelling. And so I do that all throughout the week, and then I give them extra credit on Friday with their 2 quizzes. So that gives you kind of a snapshot of what happens if they were going to miss a day. So if they missed Tuesday, they would work on these things. If they miss Wednesday, they would work on these things. Now this is long, a big amount. So sometimes I shoot a little long and big on my goals. This is 5 things, but this also will dip over into what would happen on Friday if we didn't finish these things. And then Thursday, I haven't filled that out yet, but we will have some, and in here will be quizzes. So they will see what will take place in the week, and if your child is absent, have them go to Schoology. They can see what's going on. They don't lose a beat. They literally, I've had children have COVID and be out for 2 weeks, and they were feeling okay, but were testing negative or positive, and they were able to stay on top of their game. And this is good for self-advocacy and making sure that they know how to stay on top of all their classes, because if they miss one day, they'll miss 4 classes. And that's really important because it can increase the stress level if they start to feel like they missed 5 days. Could be 20 classes that they missed. And if they're feeling okay, they can stay on top of it. Now, backing out, going to go into what is week 3, this coming week. Here we go. This week is going to be, I left Monday and Wednesday open because we're going to be doing our NUIA testing. And so that's going to be kind of a flexible day to see what happens. But Tuesday, we're going to go into Hatchet chapters 4 through 6, vocabulary development, and then the reading. And then if we have some time left over, we'll do a little bit of studying for what will take place on Friday. Thursday is going to be a big day for us because we start doing research and create groups for our upcoming Sky City, Future City project, which is going to be a floating city. And in my class, all the students are going to be doing their writing for this. So I'm going to be introducing the paragraph writing with a hook, a thesis statement, and an overview of the essay so that they can start to get ready to do research and formulate their ideas and thoughts and be able to start writing them and sketching it out. So we're starting to get in that. And then we're going to have our quizzes for comprehension of vocabulary, extra credit spelling. Those students, if they didn't finish anything with IXL for the week, they can, and do independent reading. Now I'm going to have you take a look at a glance of a student's, what it looks like from a student's perspective for a couple of things, jumping into IXL. To get into IXL, they would go again to Clever. They log on the Clever portal. This is IXL. And I want to show you this because if you are a parent that wants to do a little bit more with your child and you're going to email the teacher and say, hey, I'd really like them to focus in on working harder to move ahead, this is the place that I will always send you to. The reason why, number 1, they've been given a diagnostic to show where their areas of opportunities are that they can work on. Number 2, this is really focused in on what they do. So this is the landing dashboard page for IXL. If I have something here that is assigned to them, it will show up. And then this is what they've worked on recently, but this is where we want to go, recent recommendations. Now, as I do this, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, view all recommendations, and I'm going to describe to you, and we'll be done with this video in about a minute and a half. This means science, this is language arts, This is math. But since we're in my class, I'm going to switch all of these questions to what would be language arts questions, or English as I like to call it. Now, when they take a diagnostic, sometimes they might accidentally click on something and get it wrong, but they know how to do it. So that's what I have them focus in on. They first will look at the grade level of something, fifth grade, compare and contrast characters. Now, if my student says, hey, God, I know that, this is what I have them do. So this means that they aren't very strong on this within the diagnostic that they take with me, and they will take a diagnostic every 2 weeks to stay on top of it. And then there will be times that I let them go into the area of recommendations and try to work on knocking off some of these skills so they'll never see them in the diagnostic again in the future. To do that, what they would do is they would click right here, and then what happens is they'll have a smart score over here. They keep getting questions right until they get 100. Now, the thing that I found in the past is that the students look at things that are super easy that they might have accidentally made a mistake on, and they get to that 100 real quick, and then it's off of their diagnostic list. The other thing is that the IXL is tied into what we do with NUIA and their scores there. So this is preparing them for that, and it makes them stronger and will affect their NUIA scores. Everything is tied in within my class. The students get really good at this and be able to sort of work independently and start to push forward. If you're a child that has scored really well on their IXL, and I have to move them forward. So what happens is I will do this with them. I've had a couple of students that have taken IXL diagnostics and they've placed really high. So what I have to do with them is I have to go back and move forward on the IXL curriculum, and it will look something like this. So if I had a student that did really well, and they placed maybe comprehension or reading at a ninth grade level. I'll come all the way down here into ninth grade and look at all these different skills. And then we can jump into analyzing To Kill a Mockingbird or all these different reading strategies that I work on with different kids to push them even further, even if they're beyond a sixth grade level, because some learners move faster than others and others don't move so fast and we have to pull them up. So what I'm trying to say is I really get into focusing on what your child can still excel at in order to keep moving them forward on their academic success. Now, with that being said, that's a whole lot. There will be more to come, but wanted to give you a good basic idea of what takes place in the class, having a great time with all of them. The honeymoon is still going in terms of teaching at the beginning of the year. We're going to want to keep that going as far as we can and making it where they want to come to class and that they're having fun. That's kind of what I really like to do, because if I was a kid, I'd want to have a lot of fun when I'm in class. And so make the learning fun. I see a lot more of them, and it helps me with my job. They're an awesome group of kids. I'm really excited to be back into sixth grade. We're going to have a great year. Take care. Bye-bye.